in that moment where it was, the jump's built, nobody knows what's gonna happen. Travis was gonna guinea pig it, and he's up there ready to drop, and one of the ski guys is like, "What are you doing up there?" He's like, "What?" He's like, "We started 40 feet down from there." And so Travis started 40 feet down, and then that's that first shot in pop where he overshoots it to the bottom. So if he would have been 40 feet higher, he probably would have hit the other side of the ravine,
I remember, ollieing and looking at the knuckle and being like, oh yeah, I got that. And then as I was, began spotting my landing, I just start to see the knuckle like come and just go. Way down the landing on that mine tailing, there's a step, as in I'm potentially gonna land flat, completely flat off this, just soaring over the landing, and just remember thinking like, fall in my head, and somehow I fell and I landed right before the step, like 5 feet before the step, and was able to just kind of compression and slid out on my ass, and I was fine. I got up just like, holy shit.
And Grizzly Gulch, it's just right above Alta. That whole area was a huge mining area, and that's why there's all those jumps there. The landing of Chad's Gap, the landing of Pyramid, they're all mine tailing piles.
I remember the first time I got eyes on it, you can see the gap, and it looks big, but it's not until you actually like walk through the chasm that you see the actual distance. And then once you go stand on the knuckle, I think it kind of materializes into how real that jump is. It was just not an option to come up short. That was a pretty pivotal moment for myself and Ramon, and even for the filmmakers, with Absinthe. The session's a little bit of a blur, but I just remember getting into this like rhythm where, we both went back up, and I stomped my next trick and then landed the next one, and it was just like the session you dream of.
All I remember was that was probably like that seal that broke the earth in half that day, because there were other snowboarders doing different jumps in that zone, and I remember hearing people yell across the valley, just, "Oh my God, I quit!" It's still to this day so gnarly what Travis and Roman did on that thing. And everyone since, Breezy's hit it, Bjorn's hit it, Eric Linus has hit it. But at the end of the day, the tricks that were done on the original day are still, some of the gnarliest things you could do.
Right up the way, there's another famous epic kind of same mine tailing gap style jump, called the Pyramid Gap.
Bode, he one-footed Pyramid Gap, which is like, going into that one-footed is a suicide mission.
I remember totally committing to it and actually throwing it intentionally to be a frontside double cork, and I think it took me 3 tries. I just remember yelling, ready, everyone ready, and dropped in and just got it better than the other ones that the other tries that I had. I got the full grab, came around and just like went full bolt stomp on it and rode away. I just remember tripping. I mean, that was like one of the highlights of my entire life.
Be more fun to do this up in the mountains, wouldn't it?
Yeah, they like concrete.
Huh.
Again, so many spots, hard to really say what's what. But the most iconic, of course, is Rail Gardens. I mean, the amount of tricks that have been filmed there for real videos it's messed up.
I used to call the Rail Gardens the terrifying gardens. That place drove me nuts. I couldn't go there to warm up or practice or nothing. It was too scary.
I don't know, 100 different tricks down this thing probably.
Yeah, definitely like JP's back lip on the 5th South rail. That super long straight rail, that was like kind of a heaving moment in the length and steepness and gnar factor of handrails in Salt Lake. Mikey had some insane big gap to lip slides up at the U in a Brainstorm. That was like, a lot of his stuff was such a leap for snowboarding. Jeffy, gapping in and out of, kink rails here in Salt Lake, that was a big moment.
I think definitely like Salt Lake has brought to the table specifically for like urban riding, like the entire template really of like how to make stuff happen in the street.
We used to get towed in by 2 guys, you know what I mean, running alongside, and then you'd call it the buddy sling, and you'd sling off it to get speed to hit a handrail. And then we developed the drop-in ramp. So then that made even more spots possible. And then the winch kind of came into play and car tows kind of came into play. So that made even more spots possible. So through the evolution of the way we hit spots and where the snow hits, and then what is kind of like, you know, new ideas that open up, it seems like Salt Lake is always getting re-ran through.
Yeah, the turning point was just access to speed. You know, that was when things really started to turn, and we weren't just looking at a down bar anymore.
Now you're driving around with like, actually, I can hit that from any direction I want and go as fast as I want. So that thing has total new life to it.
That totally opened up all new possibilities. So there are spots you can revisit now and start looking up and be like, you probably launch off of whatever you wanted to here if you put in enough work.
I think the heaviest thing that I saw go down in the streets around here was down in Orem on the, you know, this Orem step down. The thing is psycho. It's like a full-on backcountry sized step down in the streets. And it is so unfriendly, and Jake just sent this front seven perfect.
I feel like when the snow is in the valley and the snow's not good up in the mountain, we were down in the city like snowboarding, and then when it was dumping, we would go and ride powder, and then as soon as the powder was ridden, we'd come back down into the city and film.
Salt Lake's always going to have spots. I mean, if you're creative, you can go hit a spot that hadn't been hit in 20 years and go rethink it, you know, hit it a different way. These days you have so many more forms of speed and ways of doing stuff that, I mean, there's always going to be spots here.
Yeah, I've been there. I don't like that breezy cover, that spot. Like, that's not really a spot anyone looks at, and you look at it, and you're like, what the is this guy thinking? Like, right. Like he's gonna die. Like,
we also wanted to shed some light on the hometown heroes, the guys that we'd been snowboarding with for years, who now the spotlight was kind of turning to Utah. It was kind of seemed like the spotlight was kind of shining on the guys, the transplants, more so than the locals. Guys who had already established themselves in other places were moving to Utah, and the media that followed them there was just there really kind of to shoot them. So I was like, you know what, we have a lot of rad dudes that snowboard here just as good, and let's make a mag about them. And at least that's what it was like in the beginning. So on the cover was Jason Brown, who at the time was by far the best snowboarder in Utah. Yeah, first issue. It's pretty artsy, Richard Chesky photo, but kind of sealed the deal. And then we also wanted to do one of the other bigger snowboarders at the time was Andy Brewer. another hero that we also grew up skateboarding with, my friend Jared Eberhardt and I. That's who I did the Medium magazine with.
Medium was like based 3 blocks down the street. So we'd see those guys all the time, and it was just something that brought the community together. Everyone was excited when the new Medium came out, just to see if Andy and Jared were going to talk shit about you too. Right. And it was like more in jest, you know, poking fun at the scene.